Good morning. Welcome to today's vlog in my bathroom. Before I get into what I'm actually doing today, I wanted to discuss these self-tanner products that I've already tried. One of the things that I have been doing ever since our stay-at-home order has been in effect, because I've not been able to go anywhere, obviously, and don't really care what I look like, I've been testing out some self-tanners. Now, I have not been a self-tanner person. I don't do self-tanner. I've never done it. I've just naturally been able to stay tan from like being outside, especially living in Florida. But ever since I moved up here, I just, the sun's not the same. We have winter all the way until the middle of May, basically. And I just got really pale, and I figured what better time than to try self-tanners. I didn't want to do a ton of videos because I have purchased a lot of different self-tanners. And so I didn't want to do like a review every single week on them, especially because I felt like with some of them, I needed to try a couple of times before I actually decided whether or not I liked it. All of these ones I purchased with my own money. None of them were sent to me. These were all actually your guys' recommendations. And this is actually an eraser, but I wanted to start with this first. This brand, Bondi Sands, you can get at Walgreens, and that's where I purchased this. The tan eraser is really great for like if you messed up, you have streaks. It's a foam, just like the other one, and you put it on, let it sit for like 5 minutes, and then you get in the shower and wash your tan off. So this is awesome. It was affordable if you need to remove any messed up self-tanner. Bondi Sands, if you are looking for an affordable self-tanner that, in my opinion, was not very orange, this liquid gold, I would say, was my favorite, more affordable option. And this is a mousse as well, so you apply it with a mitt, which you'll see me do with this one next. And then this one was the extra dark or ultra dark. I did not like this one. This one did not lay nice on me for whatever reason. It was really patchy. It looked kind of ashy. It does have a gray undertone. I'm just gonna pump some out so you can see. It comes out gray right out of the bottle, grayish blue, which it's definitely not orange, but it was just too ashy colored for me and I didn't like it. Then I purchased the Loving Tan 2-Hour Express Dark. This was one of the top recommended ones from you guys, and I do actually like this. I've used this a couple of times. I leave it on for a little bit longer than 2 hours because I think that gives me the best color, but I think for sure this is the darkest mousse one that I've tried thus far. And then these were TikTok recommendations. So these are actually drops. The Tanologist one you can get at Target, and I was not a fan of this. I don't know if it was just the moisturizer that I mixed it with, but it was just too streaky and I didn't love it. It doesn't smell, and so that's great, and it definitely wasn't orange really, but it just, I don't know, I didn't love it. I love Paradise Drops, however, in the color medium. This was also a TikTok recommendation. I did like this, and I feel like it's just, the problem with the liquid drops is that you can't really see like where you're applying it when you're putting it on because you're just mixing it into lotion. So you have to be really careful, and I did notice that like you can actually still kind of see like right here, this kind of got messed up because I didn't rub it in enough. So if you're really good with self-tanner and you know what you're doing, you could probably do the drops, but I wanted to start with the basics and then move my way up. So now that it's been a solid like 2 months of doing self-tanner, I use your recommendations on my previous video to try this Fake Bake Flawless Darker Self-Tan Liquid. So we are gonna do it together. Before anybody asks, this is an American Eagle Airy bathing suit because we ain't showing the nudies on my channel, Okay, so I'm leaving the natural light in this video because I want you guys to see like realistically how this specific tan looks on my body. But before we actually do anything with the tanner, I just wanted to show you these two things that I used prior. So I just took a shower. I used this little Flake Away scrub from Soap and Glory. It's just a really rough exfoliator. So I made sure that I exfoliated my elbows, my knees, all those like trouble areas where self-tanner usually sticks. And then what I'm going to do first after I take off my watch and ring is I'm going to do the same spots and put a lot of coconut oil moisturizer on. This, I believe, was from Amazon, and it was super affordable. Off my watch and my ring, and I'm just going to, I do my entire hands, and then I wash my hands afterwards because my hands get really dry up here, and I feel like the first time when I did this, I didn't moisturize my hands and my wrists enough, and it was for sure blotchy on that part. Do that to my hands. I put it on my elbows. My camera is gonna have to stay this height because number one, I don't wanna be showing my whole butt on YouTube, and number two, I don't wanna have to be adjusting it. Maybe Austin will help. I'm doing it at the bottom of my ankles as well. Okay, so many of you recommended this self tanner, and I'm nervous because I don't think that this is a mousse. I think this is actually a water. So you got your mitt, your gloves. Oh, it is. It's a liquid. I'm excited because I've tried pretty much all the different ones except for like the mists, but I feel like this is kind of the same thing, right? So one of the most important things in my opinion when it came to the self tanner is that number one, I didn't want to be orange. Number two, I didn't want to smell like fake tanner because I hate that smell. I will say that the Bondi Sands liquid gold one smelled like coconut, which was really nice. The Loving Tan, it didn't smell bad, but it definitely gave you a little bit of the chemically, you know, like that gross fake tan smell. So on the back of this bottle, if you're interested, it says, our skincare scientists have created a new formula to give you an incredibly dark, deeper bronze tan instantly. Contains 3 high percentages of tanning actives that work with all skin types, non-sticky, fast drying, without clogging pores, tropical scent. So we're gonna see if that is truly the case. I am also going to put the rest of my hair up because I don't wanna get self tanner in my hair. Although if you can believe this, there is a trend on TikTok right now where girls are dyeing the front pieces of their hair with self tanner to make it a different color, I swear. You should allow 4 to 6 hours before showering for a longer lasting tan. I'm gonna go the 6 hours on this one just because I felt like when I did the Bondi Sands one, I only did 6 hours and it said you could do it for 8 and it wasn't as dark. Then the second time when I did it, I liked the way that it looked leaving it on for 8 hours. So this is the tanning mitt. This is a different one than the Loving Tan. The Loving Tan is a more like velvety one, and this one kind of seems like more of a microfiber one. I'm scared. Oh wow, that is dark. I can already tell. I'm sure you probably won't be able to because of the tattoos, but just you wait till I get to the top. So I pretty much just do everything in circular motions, and I like to look in the sunlight from where I'm standing so that I can see like if I have any streaky spots, and then I just lightly go over everything. I tell that I jacked up my knee. Can you see that? This leg has the self tanner on it just immediately, and this one doesn't. I'm still flaking a little bit from my previous self tanner, so keep that in mind. But it doesn't come off too dark immediately. Like it has a little bit of color, but it's not like, oh my gosh, you look ridiculous, you know? Yeah, you can definitely see. But you see what I mean? Like right here, it's kind of catching. So I have to like make sure that I really blend that guy in. And then we'll do the butt cheeks. It doesn't smell horrible. I would say it's not the best smelling one that I've tried, but it's certainly not the worst. And right here is where I tend to jack this up all the time. So make sure that you go in this area and get underneath and in the ditch of your elbow. Contrary to popular belief, Austin still exists and he still is in fact home. People were commenting on my last video and they were like, oh, where's Austin? He's not following the stay-at-home order. It's like, yeah, he's in the other room.
Did you know one time I got a spray tan?
You did?
Yeah.
How'd it look? Like shit?
So I got a spray tan back in college.
Yeah.
And, when I came back from winter break, I was super tan.
Yeah.
And the first question one of my teachers asked me was where I traveled to. And so I made up a whole story about how I traveled to Miami.
No, you didn't.
But really, I just got a spray tan.
That was so funny. Okay, so like, yeah, I definitely should have removed more tan from my other tan because look.
Yeah, I mean, it's noticeable. So.
Okay, and then just put it all over like you did before.
Like in circles?
Yep. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Appreciate your help.
See ya.
Okay. So then I just kind of go back over and look to see if there's any places where I feel I could use a little bit more. So I personally like my chest to be a little bit darker, mostly because I have horrible sunspots from using a tanning bed when I was younger. First job ever was actually, well, my second job was at a tanning salon, and I wish I could go back in time and never do that because it actually ruined my skin beyond belief, but here we are, wear your sunscreen, don't use tanning beds. It's for sure dark, but I feel like I probably should have removed more tan that I did. So I feel like if you applied this on yourself when you had no residual self tanner on and you were super exfoliated and shaved, which I was, but you know, you can just tell when you have extra self tan left over, it would be much better. So keep that in mind when you are trying new self tanners. That looks fine. It'll do. Currently 12:26 and I'm going to try to leave this on with just like some baggy clothes for the rest of the day, probably until like 7:30 or 8 o'clock. So I will come back and show you guys how this developed over the day. So I'm kind of excited to see what it looks like. Okay, so it is 7 o'clock on the dot. I feel like this color, which I don't know if this is going to pick up very well on camera, but I messed up that part. Don't look at that. I feel like this is a more red based tan, if that makes sense. Like, it's definitely a nice color. I just wish, like I said earlier, I would have done it a little bit more carefully, but I'm gonna shower and I will be back in just a second with my final thoughts. And I got my jammies on. I don't know if you'll be able to see, the tan line it's kind of there, okay? It's not great, but it's there. And I feel like overall this color was really nice. I think it faded a little bit in the spot where I messed up right there, but you can't really tell. Like if you're looking at me from far away, it definitely looks like I just have a nice tan. It's a little bit difficult to see, of course, because it's not in the same natural lighting as it was that I had this morning during the video, but you can see the difference because I don't tan my face in comparison from my face to my arms. So I would say it's really good. I think in terms of like user friendly, I would definitely say that the mousse is probably a little bit easier because you can physically see where you're putting it. Whereas like the spray mist that I used, I felt like I thought I knew where I was putting it and then I realized that the spot of my arm was as empty in the little ditch there as it was. So I would say definitely go mousse first, then the spray mist that I just used today, and then the drops if you're a little bit more comfortable with putting on self tanner. But I also wanted to mention that the only thing I've been using in between the tanning has been this Jergens Natural Glow. And honestly, I feel like this is really good. It's super duper cheap. It smells great, doesn't smell like tanning, and it's white lotion, so it doesn't immediately stain your hands or your clothes. And I just feel like that's really been helping extend the life of my tan while kind of evening it out a little bit more, because I definitely notice, especially like right here, because I sweat so much with CrossFit and everything, that part gets all like, I don't know, patchy and weird. And so putting the lotion on it daily has been really helping. So I don't know, that's just what I've been doing, but I'm really excited to get some natural sun, honestly, because I really don't like self tanning. So I hope this video helped you in some way. If you liked it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Click subscribe so you never miss a Monday with Manders. And that is all for my tanning little tour of the tanning tour of tanning. I'll see you guys in my next video.